Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattocks, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
Last week, we started down the path to build a business case, not just for how, but what it means to really trust yourself. We didn't really talk a ton about what that leads to, and that's what I want to spend some time on today. If you think about it, if you don't trust yourself, everything you're building in your life is on at best, shifting sands level of foundation. And self-trust is really hard because, again, one of the realities is you're the easiest person to lie to, particularly when you're lying to yourself. So when we talk about the benefits here, the foundational benefit is you get to a bedrock level of understanding. When you can be honest with yourself and know what that means, know where you stand, know what you feel, and not retreat from that and not label it as something other than what it is, even when those labels are unpleasant, you begin the process of being able to create stability in a world of instability. Now, I recognize that might be challenging. Again, this is a lifelong quest to become more honest with yourself, more understanding. When we start to build this, though, we begin to create the foundation for what I'll call the integrated man, the person who, or integrated person, right? The person who can know how they feel, know where they stand, and act accordingly. That is this integration, that integral part of the way we approach the world that allows us to meaningfully begin creating relationships based on something that is solid. So when we can admit our mistakes, when we can identify when we're being greedy, when we can identify when some of our behaviors aren't in line with our beliefs, and then act from that knowledge, we can have relationships that matter. We can build bonds that turn into meaningful, powerful tools that can help us grow and can help us shape a stronger and better world around us. There's a really good model that leverages somebody who's fully kind of integrated when it comes to things like contracting and building commitments with other people. It's a book by Fred Kaufman named Conscious Business, or it's called Conscious Business. And really it talks about how to effectively make commitments and hold to those commitments, not just from like a contractual perspective, but from a kind of a moral perspective where you make something called an impeccable commitment. And these impeccable commitments are you are clear about the structure for handling the commitment before it starts, what happens if it goes awry, what you're going to do to mitigate those potential, deviations from the norm. This integral process, this integrative process allows you to have relationships that can withstand commitments that don't work out, which is also really important. So it's not just about making commitments where you kind of always stick the landing. It's about understanding that a fair amount of the commitments we make in our life are based on intention. I have the intention to do a thing, but circumstances may prevent that from happening, or my own, priority shifts may prevent that from happening. And so we're going to explore over the course of this week some of the ways we can use this self-knowledge to strengthen the relationships with the people around us so that we can build bonds that can withstand the adversities of everyday life, that can be built on a foundation of something that is true and honest and intentional, and then turn into what really the kind of purpose of relationships is for people, which is to help each other grow and become the best person we can be, help each other with labor, help each other in sort of all the capacities in which human beings as social animals are kind of out there to do. So we'll go more into breakdown on this throughout the rest of the week. See you tomorrow.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.